welcome to the Prestige Podcast. I've been missing in action. That's usually how I start the podcast because I go missing in action, I come back, and it's always nice to come back. Today I have with me Hamza. How are you doing, Hamza?
Very good. How are you?
I have been better, but I'm okay.
What's going on?
How you doing? No, nothing to be spoken in front of camera. But great nonetheless. I would say if I have to sum up, we just passed by Ramadan like a little while ago.
Your favorite period?
Difficult.
Your favorite season?
Oh no, no.
Come on.
I mean, spiritually great. Love the vibes and everything. But the fact that you have to be a functioning adult, cook, clean, also work occasionally. In my case, difficult. What about you?
It's fine.
How was yours?
1 month, it's a lot of tests. Anyway, it passed. It's once a year.
Yeah,
And it's done.
it's done with. Yes.
The first few days, it's always easy. But the
I
last
heard-
5 days,
Oh no, it's the opposite for me.
oh,
First few days, extremely difficult. By 10th, I'm like used to it. And then towards the end, I'm like, it wasn't that bad. Like I could do it like for another
no,
2
I'm
weeks.
okay. For the first 20 days, operational, very good mood. I operate very early in the morning. I don't have a problem. But just psychologically, in the last few days, it kind of get tiring. But in general, it was very good.
That's the first that I'm hearing. I've never heard somebody
Yeah.
complain about end of it. Speaking of Ramadan,
Yeah.
you spent Ramadan in Dubai.
Yep.
Tell us about it.
So basically, this trip is Dubai. In Dubai was a market discovery. Of course, we were operating with some of our clients in Dubai, but we never, communicate about it. But this time, I think it's time that we launched Prestige Consulting in Dubai, and we are officially starting to operate in Dubai as well. Of course, we are still operating in Istanbul. So, for those who doesn't know, we are also assisting you in your purchases and your investments in Dubai as well.
So it's like official.
Yeah,
Oh, that's lovely.
yeah.
I'm just pretending for the camera that I don't know. Of course, we've been working on it for like a really long time, and funny enough, I think because you work on Istanbul market for so long, I'm just speaking in a creative aspect of it. You get it gets mundane, boring, and then you have Dubai,
Yeah.
and now my algorithm is doing Olympics on Instagram. So you go from a real estate in Bodrum to a real estate in downtown Dubai. Vividly different. How do I feel about it? I don't want to say it, but it's worlds apart.
Dubai's market is very different from Istanbul. It's
Clearly.
very active. We are talking about a city that launches a project every 18 hours. So, how many projects do we have in Istanbul anyway?
Every 18 hours.
Every 18 hours, there is a project launch.
Okay. I didn't go to school for maths, so I wouldn't know.
So, every 1 day and a half, there is a new project in the market.
That's kind of amazing.
It is.
Yeah. I like more work for me, but it is amazing. It's fun.
That's why, Dubai's market is being more active. There is a lot of, movement going on. So that's very interesting. And I am a person who believes in numbers. So when I'm checking numbers about Dubai's real estate, it's really mind blowing. We're talking about $65 billion of transactions in 2022, while Istanbul that year did $6.5 billion. So Dubai made 10 times of transactions in 1 year only. This is 2022. In 2023, we had almost $90 billion of transactions. 2024, $142 billion of transactions.
That's massive.
I mean,
Do you
even
think
the US doesn't have these kind of numbers.
Yeah, but do you think it's happening because of the government policies put in place, or do you think like golden visa is actively playing role to contribute in the success of
Look,
all of these numbers?
there are so many factors that are playing for these numbers. First of all, of course, the no tax environment.
Uh-huh.
Dubai has no tax, no income tax, no capital tax. For example, you buy a property today with $1 million, you sell it tomorrow with the $5 million, $4 million in profit. Wherever you are in the world, you have to pay something to the government. I mean, if you are in Istanbul, for example, you have to pay 25%, but in Dubai, zero tax. You're renting your property, let's say a $1 million property, you made 6% or 7% return on investment, so you made $70,000 a year out of rental. You have zero tax to pay to the government about it. Of course, then this residence permits and residency features that Dubai offer, let's say $750,000, which or 750,000 dirham, that is approximately $205,000, can gives you investor visa for 2 years. Then you have 2 million dirhams, which is approximately $550,000, that can give you golden visa for 10 years. Then you have a lot of other programs, which means retirement visa, remote work visa, freelancers, and a lot of options that facilitate to a lot of people from all over the world to come and settle in Dubai.
One thing that I want to come down to is currently we're we've not currently, but like we've worked throughout Istanbul like a long time, Turkey to be specific, and there is a fair amount of challenges that people face.
Yeah.
Let's say in here, language could be an issue, or XYZ could be a lot. Let's say it could be a lot of paperwork, or maybe irrelevant things. Do you see any challenges that Dubai is potentially facing or could face in future, or do you think it's easier, like the process is smoother?
I think the investment process in general in Dubai is million times smoother than anywhere in the world. I mean, the
Really?
process, I mean, just imagine I'm a client, right?
Okay.
Checking projects. I like one project. I go, they give me a price. By the way, the developers there, most of the sales office are working 24 hours. So, okay, I just got the idea at 2 in the morning. I'll just go to the developer's office.
You told me that you were one time we were talking in Ramadan, I guess, and you're like, "Oh, I'm in the office."
It was 3 in the morning.
Yeah, and I
We
was
just
like,
left
"Wow."
sales office in 3 in the morning, and the
And it
sales
was
office,
pretty busy.
the sales office, I sent you a video. If
Yeah,
you
yeah,
remember,
yeah,
sales
yeah.
office was full of clients in 3 in the morning. So, okay, I chose the unit. They will send me a payment link, and I will pay deposit by my credit card.
Okay.
And then I will start my installment or anything. So I don't see any complication. You just need to give them like a passport picture, an ID picture, and that's it.
That's really
I mean,
easy.
if I see when I compare it to Istanbul, I'm not,
Yeah.
undermining or undervaluing Istanbul, but
No, I mean,
the
technically,
process,
processes in the world are
yeah,
different.
the
So,
process is, oof. I mean, it takes me 1 week to do the paperwork for clients. I mean, from the paperwork translation to the notary public to the power of attorneys to the sales agreements, then to the title deeds, then to the delivery papers. I mean, we have so much to do with our clients in Istanbul, but it seems like in Dubai, it's, you know,
piece of cake.
I mean, a snap of fingers.
That's kind. It's like buying a SIM card.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
It's like, oh, here's your passport, and that's
Funny
your
thing
property.
is, there's a lot of funny reels on Instagram that shows, people went to the grocery and
Yeah.
they just went to pay by card, and
Yeah.
they ended up buying a property from the grocery. This that they just
That's how easy basically
how
it is.
easy things happen. The post machine, they just snap, they make your signature. Oh, congratulations, you have a property in Dubai.
Which is kind of great. I think the easier you make it for people, the most they want to make of the situation.
That's also the use of technology in the real estate market.
In the best way possible.
And the smart contracts and
Yeah.
AI. And I mean, it's a lot of things combined that can give you all of this ease.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's kind of cool. I think that is the right way to do it rather than involving
Yeah.
3,000 offices. which
Exactly.
shouldn't be the case. But coming back to Dubai and your visit, so you sort of, were looking around the properties. What do you think? What is better in terms of like off plans or ready properties? What do you think?
I think off plan is always, the
You and your obsession with off plan is
but
why not?
it makes money,
Yeah, yeah.
I think according to my calculations, off plan always makes money.
Uh-huh.
And of course, especially when the delivery time is far by 2, 3, 4 years. So every year, basically, you're making, you know, capital gains. So last year, for example, Dubai made 20% increase of prices just in real estate. I mean, 20% of capital gains in properties, in residential properties only. So off plan, I think, is always my choice unless
Hmm.
there is a distressed deal, which means in the ready market, for example, someone wants to cash out today and he's
Okay.
ready to drop the prices by, I don't know, 20, 30, 40%, or he's ready to accept any offers. That's when I can consider, you know, a secondary market deal or something ready.
Basically, like a steal deal.
Exactly. Like it's the deal of the day. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if it's today or never,
Never.
right? And
Yeah.
there are so many of these deals happening in the markets. People, for example, who cannot finish their payments, or they cannot, pay the developers their installments or anything, so they're ready to, just withdraw from that contract and give it back to you with, I don't know, 15%, 20%, 30% of difference. But in general, off plan still makes a lot of money, and especially I mean, Dubai basically has, let's say, Dubai agenda of 2030 and 33 and 2040, right? So let's imagine this. In 2024, 40,000 units were delivered in 2024 only, right? But um, there is an expectation from 2024 to 2028 that 82,500 units will be handed over in the market, right? But let's do the math. So basically in 2024, 40 units is already handed over, right? So in order to balance these numbers until 2028, we're talking about 42,500 units of shortage that the market will be handing over until 2024, which is in four years from now, right? So that is why we see a lot of projects launching every 18 hours, because there is a shortage in the market, and the forecasts are having bigger numbers in 2030, in 2040, for example. So in this 40,000 or 42,000 units that needs to be delivered in 4 years, basically it's 8,500 units per year, right? So let's do the math. So currently, the population in Dubai is 3.5 million. That's the numbers that exist now. And according to the Dubai Agenda of 2033, they're expecting to have 6 million in population by 2033 and 7.8 million in 2040, right? And of course, these are official data from governmental portals, right? So just until 2033, we have 2.5 million people who are going to come to Dubai, which means an average of 250,000 people every year, right? So in 4 years, just up to 2028, we have a shortage of 42,000 units, but we're having almost 250,000 person coming every year. Let's say the average family size in Dubai is 5 person per family, right? So if we divide 250,000 persons who are coming to Dubai by 5 members of the family, that's averagely give you 50,000 family plus the single people who are gonna come and live in studios and one bedrooms and everything. But let's stay in the 50,000 family. So, do you think 50,000 family versus 8,500 unit per year is gonna do the job in Dubai?
Are you asking me?
I am.
I was too much busy with doing mental math here.
I am asking.
I'm borderline surprised with the amount of numbers that you're
So, do you
throwing my
think
way.
market will survive against all of this demand?
Oh,
I mean, but by the if we go with this math, by the end of 2028, Dubai market will have a shortage of 200,000 house. That is why, or that explains, the 18 hours for each project, or the length of a project every 18 hours. Because look, we've known a lot of people, we've been hearing a lot of things from other people saying that the market will be having an oversupply, and the market of Dubai is gonna crash, or etc. etc. I also was thinking like this, but when I checked the numbers says other things. It says completely the opposite.
and there is nothing you believe more than numbers.
Yes. If you know me well, you
Yeah.
know that numbers
Yeah,
are my
yeah,
things.
yeah.
So that's why we're seeing this huge demand in Dubai. And that's why we see a lot of jump on the prices. And we will still see this jump a lot more because Dubai is still undervalued, and they have a clear path of 2028, the agenda of 2033, and the agenda of 2040, and they're doing the development according to these agendas.
I was actually going to ask you what kind of ROI people can expect around this year, but I think with the data that you've given, it kind of puts everything in place.
I mean, ROI, it depends on the area, it depends on the project, and
Yeah.
it depends on which phase of the projects you're buying. Are you buying on the EOI price? Are you, putting your money on the day of the launch, or you're putting your money before handing over? That decides the ROI you're receiving. But averagely in Dubai, 6 to 8%. That's what everybody is kind of making, especially that the prices of rent also is increasing lately. For example, just last week, the government announced that the official increase of the rent was 20% almost. So imagine if you're adding 10 or 20% in the rent every year. So today, I'm getting 6% of ROI. Tomorrow, I'm getting 7.2.
I mean, that kind of answers and puts it in an interesting perspective. One more thing that I personally wanted to ask, which is like I have a lot of friends in Dubai, and one thing that side by side comes is whenever you're planning to be in Dubai or talking to somebody who's going to Dubai, the Airbnb business, is it still relevant?
Depends on the location. If you are buying in downtown or Business Bay, yes, it is level. But of course, if you're buying in GVC or GVG, that's not for Airbnb. I mean, it's gonna be a stupid idea if you're gonna run an Airbnb in GVC or GVG.
Yeah.
That's basically like a full residential area for families, and that has townhouses, but it has nothing around. I mean, yes, you have facilities, everything, but it's not a touristic place. I mean, touristic places are in Dubai, basically downtown, the Business Bay, because everything is walking distance to, let's say, to Burj Khalifa, to the Dubai Mall, to all this, the surrounding region. Also, of course, if you're buying in Dubai Marina or the GBR, also can be an Airbnb because people wants to stay next to the marina. It's fancier and everything, but somewhere else, I highly advise people to go for long-term rentals.
Okay, perfect. Wrapping this up with this question, what do you think? What is one piece of advice that you want to give to people who are planning to invest in Dubai, and one thing that we should expect from Prestige Consulting in future,
So
in solely keeping Dubai in mind?
yeah, so basically, if you're planning to invest in Dubai, first thing I would check myself is the developer and the location. These two key features are very important to decide if my investment will worth something in the future or not. For example, currently there are projects that nobody knows about in Dubai, right? And nobody care about
Okay.
actually. But of course, there are names like Benghazi, like the Mac, like Object One, for example, or MTS. Those are very famous developers that delivers on time, that delivers very high quality, and they only most of the time chose very strategic locations. I mean, Imar, of course, you can't, compete with Imar's project. And of course, depends again if you're buying as an investor or you're buying it so you can use it as an end user. So is it the ROI that you care about? Is it the return on equity, the capital appreciation, or are you gonna use it? So if you're gonna use it, what are you looking for? Are you looking to be next to your business? Are you looking to be within a community and schools and everything? Dubai, if it's known for something, it's known by communities, and communities are massive. I mean, the Mac, for example, is building a 3 million square foot community.
I can easily say working on the content that we are producing for it. Never seen things like this before.
Apartments, townhouses,
Yeah.
villas, mansions, golf courses, hotels in one single.
You name it
gated
and they have
community.
it,
I mean,
basically. Yeah.
exactly. You
Yeah.
name it, they have it.
Yeah.
So that depends on what you want. And if you have a high budget, I will highly advise to buy villas or penthouses because most of investors, let's say 80 or 90% of investors, they're buying apartments, studios, one bedroom, right? But if there is a shortage in the market, there is in the villas and in the penthouses. That's why if you see the numbers, you would find that there are some villa projects and some penthouses went 5 times on the price in 5 to 6 years. Just few weeks ago, I was checking a villa for a client. I was checking the public record of those kind of units. People bought with $5 million. They're selling at $20 million within a time span of 5 years or 6 years. So if you have a respectable budget, few $1 million, villas, buy it and never think about it. Few years later, it's
A stunning jump.
yep.
Okay. And what about Prestige? What are we
So-
expecting from Prestige? And not to put pressure on you, but you.
Look, we have been known in Istanbul with choosing the best projects and the best developers. And if our clients will expect something from us, needs to expect the same service that we're providing in Istanbul to do the exact same thing in Dubai. So, as everywhere in the world, there are developers to work with and there are developers to avoid, right? So, what you can wait for us is that we do the work before you even come to us, right? We filter the market. If ever we're presenting something to you, we're presenting the cheese, the best of the best in the market.
What do they call it? Creme de la creme?
La crème de la crème.
There you go. Give us your French.
Exactly.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
if anything to be expected from Prestige Consulting is la crème, de la crème, right? So, that's what we can promise our client, and thank God we've never failed to do what we promise.
That's great to know. And with that, we're going to be signing off. And I'm actually looking forward to talk about the projects that you have discovered and like in depth as to what they offer and do we expect, just to give them a tease, are we expecting somebody from Dubai who's going to come here talk?
Yeah, of course. The Prestige Podcast is open to a lot of people. And it was open for a lot of people. And of course, always we're going to bring interesting people who can give a lot of insights to our podcast. And soon enough, we will be having people from Dubai and who has experience in Dubai, and they talk about their projects and what their expectation in the next few years.
Perfect.
And, we've been open with people in our podcast all the time. I mean, we've been in the content creation, 3-4 years now. So we have always been sharing our honest thoughts
Yeah.
on the market, on what's going on, our analysis, etc. So we're going to do the same thing about Dubai as well. We're going to share our honest opinions about projects, locations, what we think is the best for our investors, and that's what we can expect from Prestige Consult
And Prestij Podcast.
and the Prestige Podcast.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Fahad signing off with Hamza, and we'll see you in the next episode.
See you.